A while ago, I did a video on my channel giving you a archery build based on the fighter class in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And it was based on dealing as much damage with a single arrow in the first turn of combat as possible. And while the video is really old and somewhat awkward, the build actually still stands and people are still having a lot of fun with it. But today I want to take things in a little bit of a different direction, because I want to still use the fighter as a base class, and I will then still make them an archer, but this time instead of focusing on extreme damage, I want to focus on extreme, ridiculous accuracy. Hi there fellow role players and game masters, my name is Mr. Trough, and today I want to guide you through a archer build based on the fighter that has extreme accuracy, and in some parts of the game you will have a hard time not hitting your target. I want to do two things today, and that is build a level 7 character based on the fighter, and I want to use official 5th edition rules, because I want this fighter build to be legal for almost any table that plays 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Now, the reason it is a level 7 build is because for me personally, I think that level 7 is basically like the point in the game where the game is the most interesting for the players, for the dungeon master, because a lot of the bigger monsters are showing up, like some dragons, a hydra here and there, a beholder, all that stuff is showing up in tier 2 of the game, but also the players are getting like more different powers and different spells they can use and they can combine with each other or within their own class in order to make the game more interesting. There's still a lot of deadly stuff going on, but also a lot of survivability in the game. That's why I think tier 2 is absolutely the most fun tier to play Dungeons & Dragons, and that's why we're building this fighter archer with extreme accuracy. Let's get into it. So I will just go over it level by level, and while I do that, I will explain why we pick certain things. The first thing we're going to do is pick up the player's handbook and select the fighter class. We're building a fighter archer, and of course we need to pick a fighting style, which is going to be archery, which gives us a +2 to our archery skill. So if we try to hit somebody, we get a +2. This is all very easy stuff. Then we're going to look into the elves, and there is a particular elf that we want to use, which is the Shadar Kai elf. It is in the new book, The Monsters of the Multiverse. It's a really interesting elf, and the reason we're picking an elf is two reasons. First of all, there is a feat that we need later in this build, but also it has a very cool way of teleporting across the battlefield, and you can get to teleport like many times across the battlefield, and at level 3 even negate parts of the damage you take after you teleport across the battlefield. So there's a very cool combination for you later in the game to like really teleport across the battlefield and hit your targets from different directions. At level 2, nothing really happens. Well, at least at first sight, because we get our action surge. And later in this build, the action surge is going to be super important to fire multiple arrows, all with advantage. Because at level 3, we're going to pick the samurai subclass. The samurai subclass, long story short, a few times a day, you can use your bonus action, if I'm not mistaken, to get advantage on every attack you make in the turn that you use the ability. So if you fire 3 arrows in that turn, you get to fire 3 arrows, all with advantage. This already gives us a very good accuracy. Now we get to teleport. We're level 3, so we get to teleport across the battlefield with our Shadar Kai ability. We're getting to negate certain damage because we're teleporting. Then we are getting to roll with advantage, which makes everything more accurate. And we already have the +2 for archery. So with a 16 on dexterity and a +3 proficiency bonus, we already have a +8 on our dexterity, a +8 on our attack rolls for our archery, for our bow and arrow fighting stuff. So we're already very accurate at this point. Of course, getting the 5 temporary hit points every time you use your samurai ability also helps with survivability in combination with the Shadar Kai teleporting ability. Now, level 4 is where it really starts to get interesting. We're going to take the Elven feat elven accuracy, which basically gives us triple advantage every time we have advantage with a dexterity based weapon. So when we fire our bow and arrow and we use our samurai ability to get advantage on those rolls, we actually get triple advantage. Well, that's not entirely the case. You get advantage and you get to re-roll one of the d20s you rolled, so you're basically in essence rolling 3d20 and picking the highest, which makes you even more accurate. And it's so cool here where we're not putting points in dexterity directly, and also at first level you don't have to like extremely max out your dexterity. As a matter of fact, you can put some points in constitution for survivability or in charisma if you want to go that route, because also, even if you have like +8 or +9 on your attack roll, that won't really matter because the focus is not on your modifier to your attack rolls. The focus is on how many d20 you are rolling when you are attacking at those moments that you really need to hit your enemy. So you can really spread out your points and make your character more versatile in that way. Put that in constitution, put maybe some points in strength. Who knows? You want to build a dexterity based fighter that also has some points in strength. Or in charisma, you want to be a party leader, put some points in charisma. You are becoming more versatile because you can take some points from your dexterity, put it in some other abilities. Now imagine you are a 5th level fighter and you use your previous turn to teleport to a perfect place on the map. Right? You use your action search, not giving you 2 attacks, but giving you 4 attacks due to the extra attack feature from the fighter at level 5. You now have 4 attacks. You use your samurai ability to get advantage on all of these attacks, but because you are an elf, a Shadar-kai, you get triple advantage on all of those attacks, meaning that you will probably hit 4 freaking arrows in a row in one turn after teleporting across the battlefield. And all of that while you take half damage and you get 5 extra temporary hit points. Now, just a little bit of extra metagaming information. Your action search actually resets every short rest. So say that you do a short rest between every encounter, you actually get to use your samurai ability 3 times per day, meaning that 3 times per day you can actually shoot off 4 arrows with triple advantage, all while increasing your survivability by a lot. Now, to finish this off, this doesn't really belong to the build, but I just want to build it to level 7. First of all, at level 6, you become resilient, which is a really, really cool fighter ability, and you can get to max out your dexterity if you want to. You can also put your points into constitution for survivability, into wisdom, into charisma if you want to kind of be the party leader or whatever, or roleplay the heck out of that, but you can also put it in dexterity to become more accurate in the long term when you're not using those abilities from the samurai. Also at level 7 you get your extra samurai ability, which gives you an extra saving throw proficiency, namely wisdom, so you're now a fighter with 3 proficiencies in saving throws. Now I just want to quickly say, this is not per se a one-trick pony. Although you have that very accurate elven accuracy type of thing going on, and there is these moments in the battlefield that you need to hit your target, and you are almost certain you are going to hit your target. It doesn't mean you have to only play it that way. After all, you are a fighter. You are proficient in freaking everything: shields, swords, axes, spears, swords. So if you want to carry a katana around or a sword around, make sure to do so. You can get into melee, and you can even use your samurai ability to get advantage on those attacks. You're versatile enough, because you are a fighter. You can do all kinds of stuff. If you want to change from bow and arrow to sword and board, please, for the love of God, do so, because that's really awesome. That's the way you play a fighter. Also, the extra saving throw proficiencies are really great. Putting points in different abilities, because you're already very accurate from this build, also makes you a very versatile character, and that's why I absolutely love this build. And last but not least, if you're not into playing elves, make sure to look into the Bugbear, because every attack you do in the first round against somebody who hasn't acted yet does 2d6 extra damage. So if you want to take away a little bit of the accuracy by not having the elven accuracy feature, and you want to put in some more damage, make sure to look into the Bugbear, because it really, really adds to the build in a great way. Also, I want to thank Blind Jedi from my Discord for actually coming up with this build. I'm just the one that presents it to you. Until next video, bye bye.